everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Fashion Grunge Podcast. I am your host, Lauren.
And I'm Jai. Hi.
What's up, everyone? I feel like I haven't done one of these in a while. I don't know when the last one we did was. We did Hype with Jules. Maybe that was the last one we did.
We did Fight. Oh, was I supposed
Oh yeah,
to say?
we did Fight Club. It's going to be
Club.
out tomorrow, so that doesn't matter. This will be out after that. So you will have already seen Fight Club. So yeah, Fight Club is coming out tomorrow. It's super cool. I guess we talked a long time about that. If you haven't listened to it, go back and listen to it. But today we're going to talk about Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas from 1998. Directed by Hunter S. Thompson, based on the book by Hunter S. Thompson, directed by Terry Gilliam. I guess Freudian slip. I guess it probably could have been directed by Hunter S. Thompson.
It could have, yeah.
This is pretty much a part of his life. So, yeah, I'm super stoked to talk about this because we get to talk about another baddie fave of mine, Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
I don't think we've done a Johnny Depp movie
We
yet.
haven't. No. We haven't.
Wow. This is great, though. This is the first one. Yeah. I love Johnny Depp. I think more than Brad Pitt, I have to say.
God. I used to love him more than Brad Pitt, but I don't know what happened.
I don't know. I think it's still deep down in there somewhere. I think he's still that guy.
I mean, he's pretty cool.
He is really cool. He did a really cool. He has Instagram, but he's like one of the like cool actor Instagrams where he has like 5 posts.
Oh,
and he has one recently, and it's really cool. Everybody should go check it out. And he actually writes it's almost like a note to his fans, but he's writing it with like feather and ink. And it looks very much like the art inspired in, I think it's Ralph Emerson who did the illustrations for Fear and Loathing. Like, you know how if you see the cover of it, the Criterion one, it looks like there's like an animated kind of story in there, but it's like done in that style. It's really fucking cool. And then he has some of his paintings up like in front of his desk. He's a really incredible artist too.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, it was really cool to see that. I think he just posted it a few days ago. So I was like, oh, cool. Johnny Depp's so cool.
He
looks
really
great.
He looks great.
He looks great for like all the like rag and tag and shit he's been through. Like he looks pretty good.
I think I was just really put off with his relationship with Amber.
Yeah,
I think that's when he kind of went down a bit for me. And
yeah, well, he didn't do much then.
The fact that he did the Pirates of the Caribbean trilogy was also like a bit like, why are you doing this? You know, like
I think the first 3 would have been fine, but I feel like they didn't need to do like 5. Like the last 2, I feel like were completely unneeded. The first 3 are fine. Like I get it. The first one's good. I actually like the
first one is cool, but
as like a standalone, it's pretty good.
Wait, I didn't even know they had 5. Wow,
they had 5. Yeah,
wow.
like
That's
3.
Insane.
3 is okay. 3 is a good story. We got what's going on. There's like some layers. 5 was like we're trying to make money. Like we're trying to drag this shit out, and they probably are gonna. I heard they're gonna like redo it, and he's not gonna be in it. I was
yeah, I don't think he should be in it. That's crazy.
Well, then they should just stop doing them. I was like, why does anyone even want to see another one of these with someone else? I don't.
Well,
like,
we don't, but
on.
I guess little kids want to see that.
I guess so. It's strange, but yeah, he has done some weird films, but the 90s was definitely the like age of Johnny Depp. Like, he did some great films.
He did. I had to give him credit for that. I mean, and he made quite a lot of movies actually.
Yeah, and also our resident baddie number 2, Benicio del Toro.
Oh yeah! Oh my god, it's been basically
not so much in this one, but.
Well, I mean, honestly, I feel like
you're like, I don't mind.
I have to say, I never have liked meaty men, but he is the total exception because even chubby, like he's a babe. I'm like,
yeah, I like his the way he speaks.
I love the way he speaks, and I love his hair, and like I just love everything about him.
The porn stash, the 70s like porn stash.
I know. I love him. Have you seen that movie that he's in as Che Guevara? I think it's called Che.
No, I don't.
He's great.
When did he do that?
Quite a while ago.
Oh wow! No, I haven't heard of that.
He's really good in that.
I like him. I think he's really cool.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that recently I found out that he had a baby with that Rod Stewart girl.
Yeah.
The fucking daughter. Yeah.
Oh,
John was like, I can't believe you didn't know that. I was like, no. I guess I
Yeah,
was living under a rock.
he's one of those actors that I've been following very closely what he's up to because I'm like totally in love with him.
Wait,
But
did you see that film he did? Was it like Sicario?
yeah,
Is
it's
that the one
really
that he
good.
did? Is it
Yeah,
good? Yeah, I
with
kind of want to see that.
Emily Blunt. Yeah.
Oh, okay. And there were
Yeah.
two, weren't there like two
Yeah, they're
movies?
two, and actually both are insane. They're both really good.
Oh, cool.
This
Okay.
is how you know someone is a good actor when they can play like good and bad like characters really
Yeah,
well. You know,
true.
he totally does both like insanely well.
Crazy. Well, I was gonna ask you, what are your first thoughts with Fear and Loathing? Like, what's the first time you saw it?
So before we actually start, I need to make an announcement.
What?
Okay, so since the main theme of this film is, drugs,
Oh, drugs?
I just would like to say that if you're my parents-in-law, my sister, or my mother, and you're listening to this, please stop. But if you
Oh,
decide to
yeah.
listen, don't be horrified and just remember that I was young and reckless and wild once,
Yeah.
and that that's made me who I am today, and I'm a good girl now. So please don't judge me, and
Ooh, good one, Jai.
ideally don't listen to this. So
Yeah, ideally
yeah.
it's kind of awkward. I think I had one of my cousins like write me the other day is like, "So, what have you been up to during quarantine?" And I was like about to be like, "Oh, I have this podcast." And I was like, "No, I'm not going to tell them about this because like I just don't no, like they don't know me well enough to like listen to it. This is a little different situation at that point. I've kind of kept my parents away from the podcasting world. My dad actually knows, but he's not like an American movie fan. Like he watches a lot of films from Latin America, so I don't think he would listen to these anyway because he doesn't know what the films are. So that's fine. And my mom like is very technologically like not of this era. So like I try to show her about podcasts and she just knows that I do them. And then I tell her, like, I just don't want you listening to them. And she's like, okay, that's fair. Like, she's not, put off about it. Thankfully, I have a small family. I don't have like a bunch of like random people that I have to worry about. My friends, they probably know half these stories anyway, if not are involved, but I will never say their names. So
Oh
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Well, I mean,
But good addendum. I was actually going to ask you because you were like, I have to make an announcement. I have also one. Like and subscribe and give us 5 stars on the Apple Podcast. And listen on Spotify and do all that fun stuff and hit the follow button. I don't know. I can't even see shit about Spotify. So like the only thing I see are followers. So I think we have like 150. But that's not bad. I
That's
mean,
cool.
no one's really on Spotify podcast quite yet.
No, not
So it's
really.
pretty
I
good.
feel like
So
everyone, or like for the most part, people have Apple, and
yeah, or they use like whatever. But
yeah,
it's everywhere. You'll find it. So cool. All right, so this is gonna be like a pretty personal episode, but it's gonna be cool. So yeah,
yeah.
go back to when you first saw it.
Well, I watched this in 2000. I was with my friend at home. She was like one of my best friends, but we also lived together at the time. And I actually had these in DVD. And I just got rid of it before I moved to the US. Like
Wah,
basically when I moved.
wah.
Yeah, because I was like, being very selective, and I was like, realistically, I'm not gonna be
Yeah.
watching DVDs. Like, don't have anywhere to play them. So I took a bunch of things to the charity shops, and but I watched this so many times because I had a DVD basically, and
Mm-hmm.
because I love this film. But the first time I watched it, I had to confess that I was on ketamine, and it
Oh,
was
good.
very weird to watch it because ketamine
Yeah.
makes everything very slow motion,
Oh my god.
and like your it felt like I watched this movie and it lasted like 5 hours or 7 hours, but obviously it
I was gonna
didn't.
say,
But
how long did this film seem to you?
yeah, I mean, honestly, only I remember some scenes, but I I was very out of it with my friend actually, both were, and but I watched it over the years several times. So, but that was the first time I watched it was on ketamine,
Oh
so which
wow.
is obviously
That's a
crazy.
trip.
Yeah, and we actually watched it and went to the kitchen to get some tea, and we decided to sit on the table, and then next thing we know, we've been on that table for 8 hours with my flatmate, the other one of them, because we had two of the boys that lived with us. They went out to a club, and they came back like 7 or 8 hours later, and we were still on the kitchen table, like looking
Oh
at
my
our hands.
God.
I mean, anyway. So, but yeah, I love this film. I think it's I actually really love seeing Johnny Depp and Benicio del Toro together.
Yeah, they're great together.
They are, and I was like, I love them as acts. Like, I love both of them. I think their acting is incredible, and
I can't believe they didn't get any real recognition for it.
I think I think Johnny Depp might have been nominated for something.
Really? Oh, I'll have to look it
I'm
up.
pretty sure. It might not. I mean, it probably was like some weird, I don't know,
Yeah, I don't
like
think it's one of the
MTV or something. I don't
mainstream.
know, but
Yeah,
yeah, I feel like this is a film that you either love or hate.
totally.
Like, you can't. I never met anyone who's like, oh, that film is alright. It's either like, yes, I love it, or like, no, that's rubbish.
I think either you get it or you don't get it.
Totally, yeah.
Yeah.
As like, it's been proven this week when I told some people, and they were like, that's a hideous film. That's absolutely awful. How can you possibly like it? I'm like, okay, don't judge.
Yeah, you just don't get it. It's
Don't get
definitely
it.
like, yeah, it's stuff. This is how I feel about most of the film. Not most of the films we review here. It's definitely that's not the case. We've done some big ones here, but I feel like the way I feel about Fear and Loathing and just that whole vibe, the whole Hunter S. Thompson vibe, is how I feel about Greg Araki films and like Larry Clark. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you either like them or you don't. Either you get it and you kind of get what they're talking about, whatever, you get the vibe, or you don't. It's like I've never heard anyone say anything about any of those films from any of those directors, or even like Wes Anderson. I feel like another one who's very like niche, like either you get it or you don't. Who's another one, like another kind of like not all around,
I know
like
what you
appeals
mean.
to everyone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sofia Coppola probably too. She's very like feminine. I don't know that there are
Yeah,
many
that's
men
true,
who like
actually.
really like her. But yeah, so I feel like it's definitely one of those kind of vibes where it's like counterculture, like weird, druggy
Totally.
vibe.
I feel like for me, also the fact that it's about always sort of based in the 70s, like
Yeah.
they talk about the 60s as well and everything. I mean, I love everything about it. Obviously the style, like fashion, the music. It's just got everything. I do think this movie is got one of the best soundtracks. Like,
Yeah,
it's
it's
up
cool.
there with like my top five.
Oh yeah, we should do like an episode on like top 5
Yeah, we should.
favorite like sound.
Yeah, we just talk about soundtracks. Yeah,
Yeah,
I love that.
because
Uh,
there's so many that are
but
really.
yeah, anyway, besides that, I do think some scenes are quite hard to watch because they're very stressy. But
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I just love this film. I can watch it over and over again and don't get bored of it.
Yeah, I know, me too.
What
It's
about
really
you? When
funny.
did you watch it?
I saw it in high school, I think, probably like 99.
Oh,
Probably like
cool.
around there. I didn't see it in the theater or anything like that. I definitely saw the movie and then read the book. I actually have the book upstairs. I was gonna say if you haven't read it, I'll totally give it to you the next
Yeah,
time I see
cool.
you,
Yeah,
because
I'd like to read it.
it's super great. And also tying into some behind the scenes notes is that Tom Hunter S. Thompson really felt that like Johnny Depp narrating it really made the film like more cohesive, as opposed to like just having a bunch of wild scenes like cut. Like if you can imagine no narration, it would make no
It
sense.
will make no sense. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he said that was a really good part of the book. And then also like when they did the story, like I think Terry Gilliam said that they just like cannibalized the book. Like this is very true to the book. And he
Mm.
just has I love Hunter S. Thompson's writing. And after I read this, I read a few of his other he has like Fear and Loathing on the Campaign Trail, which he writes about like presidential election that he's covered. He has Fear and Loathing in Rolling Stone, which is great. It's like a whole series of his articles for Rolling Stone. And he has
Oh,
so many
yeah.
books. Like he has so many books. They're really great. And he has one that is called like I think it's called like the Southern High or the Southern Highway. It's something like that. But I got really into like the vibe of him. Like not necessarily I haven't read everything by him. He has a ton of books. So if you like really want to start somewhere, I think probably his like Rolling Stone material is pretty good.
Okay, yeah.
But there's just so much on him. So I was like, oh, this is so cool. I don't think I'd really like done more drugs and smoked weed and like probably took ecstasy
Hmm.
at that point, like when I first saw it. And then, as I'd gone on, like I've definitely seen the film like pretty inebriated on like various things, but it's always like this is totally what it's like. Like this is totally just that vibe, which is so, I don't know, it's just so strange.
It is. I feel like this is why I find that most of the people well, people that I've asked that like the film as well, they've all done like acid and like mushrooms or whatever, and they all
Mhm.
say, "Yeah, that's exactly how it is," and it's true. It, it like for someone who's never done anything, I can see how it'd be silly and hard to understand because
Yeah,
they can't even imagine, you know.
that's true.
So I understand that, but I mean, I've done acid and mushrooms and everything that you can think of, and I definitely killed a lot of cell brains and like
Brain cells.
brain cells. Sorry, you see, I told you that's just the proof that I killed a lot of like brain cells from 1999 to like I don't know, like 7 years ago, and I feel like I would be a lot smarter if I hadn't done as much as I did, but
I don't think you would have not been as I don't think you would have been as smart, but it's
I
definitely.
think it does for sure. That it. Think about it. Like if you do a lot of drugs, like that kills a lot of neurons. So like,
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I guess yeah, that's true. It does, but
especially if you're young, I feel like because
yeah,
you're
I guess
still
the
at
younger you are.
17, 16, you're still whatever 15, you're still like growing and like developing. So I'm
Don't do
sure.
drugs, kids.
Then I mean, if you do, I don't know. I'm into minds. I feel like you either do them young to get out of your system and then just grow up and get on with like all the serious things you have to do as an adult. I feel like doing them starting this like when you're older is bad because you're.
It's a very like personal choice that I feel like, I mean, addiction is very real. There are a lot of things that can like really fuck your life up.
Mm,
And this is also reminiscent of like this is also a film and also doesn't give you any of the like quote unquote negative
oh yeah.
impacts that you would inevitably have if you were to really live like this.
Oh, I mean no.
And then in the
So-
60s, all the shit's like a lot of shit was more pure. Now a lot of things
oh
are cut with who
yeah.
the fuck knows. People are dying from like these opioids on the street that they think are real and then they're not. Like there's just so much crazy shit out there now that I feel like the more evolved we get, it just becomes more and more like pharmaceutical and like
Totally.
it's like you just don't know what it is. And I mean, we had that kind of sort of back in the day, like when raves were big, it was like test your pills, like find out what's fucking in here and all this crazy shit. But like now, it's like pharmaceutical pills, it's like stuff that you get in a bottle. Like
I
no
feel like
one.
that's got to be worse.
Yeah, it's
I mean, I do.
bad.
Doing these strokes in the 60s and 70s definitely was the way to do it, like because like you said, right, everything is just so caught nowadays.
Yeah, I think it was like a newer thing
Yeah,
in like the 60s, but it's definitely leans its way to like a story like this. I mean, this is almost reminiscent of like an Alice in Wonderland, which is like completely batshit crazy.
yeah.
Like no idea what's going on, and you're just like, I love this. I have another note that yeah, I was like, I really identified with counterculture when I was really young. Like I always liked reading and like seeing all the stuff that was like cool or like somewhat tried to be underground, but like somewhat not what everyone else was listening to or watching or whatever. So I really liked it. Vegas, I have been about 5 times to Vegas through this particular. I've been on that highway once. There's another highway. This is like 15. There's another one, I think it's like 40 or something. But it is, if you are listening from California, which some people probably are, when you go to Vegas, it has this very like alternate dimension, very much that whole like what's like happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. It's like, and when you leave, you just feel like you're leaving this whole real weird world behind and like going back to like the grind. When you like go back to LA, you're like, oh, okay. But Vegas is a fucking trip, man. Like
I
it's an
know.
adult ground, it's fucking a time warp.
Really want to go,
Yeah,
like.
like it's fucking weird. It's in literally the middle of nothing. It's just like a desert, and then it's just like boom, like this massive town. It's crazy.
I mean, I have to say, like, I really want to go. However, the thought of doing drugs in Vegas like this is
No,
like
that
most.
time has
It's
passed.
fucking scary. Like
Yeah.
that place already is kind of mental, and like you have all these funny characters, right? Imagine being high,
It would
just
be nuts.
terrifying.
It'd be
Yeah.
super nuts. I just like it's crazy. And I also wrote I love a good road trip film. The
Yeah.
other ones that well we covered one, My Own Private Idaho, that was a super great like kind of road trip film. And a more recent one that I really liked was American Honey by Andrea
Oh yeah,
Arnold.
that was cool. Yeah, I
Yeah,
forgot
that
about
one
that. That's
was
actually
really
really cool.
cool. So yeah, I do love a good road trip film. I do love to drive. This is kind of my ideal way to drive in like a big ass convertible, like
Hmm.
just barreling through the highway. I think that would be so fun. I'm actually reviewing Thelma and Louise coming up soon. I think with Charles we're gonna do that one. So gotta love a road trip. I
Cool.
fucking love Thelma and Louise. So I was like, let's do Thelma and
That's such
Louise.
a good film. Oh,
Yes, so good.
so good. Yeah.
And yeah, so that's what I have. I have some behind the scenes notes, but do you have any?
Behind the scenes. Okay. Well, yeah, just a few, I guess. So Thompson actually shaved Johnny Depp's head for the
Yeah,
film,
no.
which I kept thinking. I obviously didn't know about it, but every time I saw him, I was like, I'm pretty sure that's like an amazing wig or like some kind of special effects because I never thought that he would genuinely shave his head for the film, but I guess he did. That's crazy. I think that's pretty cool that he did that just for the movie.
And he like moved into his house too.
Yeah, for 4 months, right? Because he wanted
Yeah.
to pick up like all his like body language and the way he spoke and everything. That's really cool. Um, and he also swapped cars with him, didn't he?
Did he? I didn't
Yeah,
know that.
so basically the amazing red Chevrolet convertible
Mm-hmm.
that is called something in the movie, I can't remember. It has a name.
Oh, is that the not the shark?
The
Great,
shark. Yeah,
is it
it is the
shark?
shark. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Is actually Thompson's car for real. They use his car.
Really?
So they swap cars um for a few weeks, I think. And so Johnny Depp could actually get used to driving and stuff in like
Yeah, because it's
preparation
a
for the
big ass
movie.
car.
Yeah, which is really cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
And also, because I mean, I hope that it didn't get ruined during, the filming, but it looked like it got kind of,
Bashed up.
yeah. But, and that Benicio del Toro gained 40 pounds for the role by eating multiple donuts every day.
Really?
That's
That's what he did?
that's how he did. It wasn't like, oh, let's just pick out. It was like, okay, I'm just gonna have donuts every single day.
Fuck, that's
He's
scary.
so fucking funny, or chubby with his like big belly.
I
So
know. I love when he like falls down. He like pushes him down and he like rolls. I'm like, ah! He's always like so mental. It's
I
really
know,
funny.
so mental. And yeah, just like what we were talking about before we started the podcast about all the different actors that
Yeah,
work on together.
they wanted to do this for quite a
Like
while.
fucking Jack Nicholson and Marlon Brando. That's insane.
Got too old to play
Too
him.
old for sure.
Yeah, it just they waited too long, and then I also read like John Cusack was supposed to do it.
Yeah.
He like directed a play, I think, about it. So he was like, oh, I'm gonna do it. Then he got old. John Malkovich
John
also was supposed to
Malkovich.
do it.
Yeah.
He got old. And then Dan Aykroyd and John Belushi. But then John Belushi
I
died.
know. That's
Can you imagine?
insane.
That would have been crazy.
That would have been crazy.
That
Yeah.
would
I
have been
mean,
crazy. Yeah.
yeah, it's just kind of funny, really, because I mean, I kind of see young Jack Nicholson's playing um Johnny Depp's role, but
Yeah.
not old, not old
No,
Jack
it's definitely meant
Nicholson.
for like 30s, right? Wouldn't he be he be in like his 30s?
Yeah, I
In
think
the
so.
time zone, yeah, in like the time frame, I think. Or maybe
Yeah,
like late 30s. But yeah, they were all like way too old by the time they were gonna do this. They were like 50s.
yeah, no, that's nuts. Do you have any?
Yeah, I have I wrote like wasn't reviewed the best, but some people really liked it. But I think it was kind of like if you like we were saying, if you don't get Hunter S. Thompson, like you kind of don't get it. And it just seems kind of crazy. There's a huge big like stink about the writing credits. Like I didn't go too deep into it, but there was like some drama with like two writers that were doing the screenplay, Terry Gilliam, and then like a lot of drafts going back and forth, and like only having Terry Gilliam like finalize everything like really close to when they were shooting it. So that was
Mm,
kind of, there's more information about that if you are interested. It took place like 56 days shooting, which is
yeah,
nuts.
that's actually not bad.
Yeah, that's crazy. I always think it just takes like 3 months to film a movie, but I guess that's a long
Me
time.
too, but maybe back then it was less time. I don't know. I feel like now
How do they know their lines so fast to be
I
able to
actually
like
don't know.
go out
Well,
and do it?
also because it was film, right? So I guess now I don't know. Actually, it will make
Digital
sense.
should be faster because they
It's
can
pretty
see it right
far.
away.
Yeah, you're
They should
right.
be able to like, see it like, all right, this is what we have. Let's do it again. Like, or we need it. We don't have it yet. I would think. Who knows? If you're a filmmaker out there, let us know what it's like. It must be insane.
Yeah,
Let's see. I have Depp and Gillian were paid $500,000.
yeah. I found that, but I couldn't see anywhere how much Benicio got
I
paid.
was gonna say, I wonder what he got paid.
Couldn't
Um,
find it anywhere.
and Thompson met Depp, and he'd seen all these other people, and he was like convinced that no one else could play him,
Yeah.
But Johnny Depp. So he like this is definitely like authorized, not one of those films that they just like made, and the person who's it's about isn't even, in it. Or like involved in it. Another interesting tidbit that I found, which I would love to know more about, is that Gonzo is based on Hunter S. Thompson's friend Oscar Zeta
Oh, I
Acosta, who
know.
disappeared in 1974, and he was an American attorney, novelist, and a Chicano activist. I think he disappeared in Mexico. I would like to know more about this situation because he's a real person.
I know. Well, and also he had a weird. Well, some people were like talking about like apparently he was drowned. He drowned, but
Oh,
I don't know. I don't know actually. I don't think anyone knows. You know, it's just like rumors, I guess. But
like, honestly, too, that like, can you imagine if he knew that this film was like made about him?
yeah, but it's always those people. I feel like you couldn't make this up. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like sometimes the crazy stories are actually the ones that happened or are based on true characters. You know, like.
totally. That's what makes it so like crazy and interesting. And let's see. Then also, I have not seen it because of Amber Heard, but The Rum Diary is another film that's a Hunter S. Thompson book that Johnny Depp starred in. That's where he met Amber Heard. My
Hmm.
mom liked Johnny Depp a lot, and she was like, "Oh, as soon as I saw that movie and saw her, I knew it was trouble." Because like I
Oh
guess she like
yeah.
the style in it and the way they introduce her. My mom's like, I could tell like there was something going on. I was like, oh no. She's like, yeah, you can kind of tell like there was something. I was like, well, I haven't seen it, so I've kind of put off seeing it. So I was like, I don't know if I want to see this. Is it going to be weird? Because
Yeah,
they've
I
had
kind of
like,
don't want
uh,
to see it, but I don't
yeah,
know.
I think it's on Netflix, but yeah, I have not seen that. It's another thing that they did other work together. And Hunter S. Thompson died by suicide in like 2000. Is it five? I think.
Oh
Yeah,
really?
2005 because yeah, February of 2005 because and it's like a really weird story, like his kids were home. It's like it's weird, you can look it up.
Oh
It's
wow.
really strange, but yeah, then at his funeral, like they put his ashes in a cannon and like
Oh
blew them out because that's what he wanted, and like Johnny Depp did that.
oh wow.
Jack Nicholson was there, and like John Kerry, the senator. Like a
That's
lot
so
of people were,
weird.
I think he had some health problems too because of obviously all this like alcohol use and
Yeah.
like tons of stuff that he did to his body essentially. But
Oh wow.
yeah, it's pretty nuts. But yeah, do you have any more behind the scenes? We'll get into the
No.
plot.
Let's just get into the plot.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So it's Terry Gilliam. If you haven't seen his films, they're pretty fucking weird. I don't think I have to tell you this is not. I think when you start this film, you know this is not going to be the regular shit. I love that they started out with like the 70s, like the desert, Vietnam. It's like it's very
Me
much like
too.
almost like a bit similar to what's going on here, not at the Vietnam, but civil unrest and like what's happening here. And then they just kind of like open it on their car. One of my favorite scenes, which I don't think I probably have, yeah, is like the explanation of the drug collection.
Oh my god, same.
As soon as
Nah.
you start, they're just like they're driving crazy on this highway, and you're like, what the
Yeah.
fuck's going
I
on?
love the intro. I just love the beginning. It's so good.
Mhm. It's so cool how it just like it just starts and you're just like, "Oh my god, like these guys are fucking nuts." Like I can't even imagine. There's a really this is like probably the best quote. This is what they say. We had 2 bags of grass, 75 pellets of mescaline, 5 sheets of high-powered blotter acid, a salt shaker half full of cocaine, and a whole galaxy of multicolored uppers,
Uppers,
downers,
downers, screamers,
screamers, laughers,
laughers.
and a quart of tequila, a quart of rum, a case of Budweiser, a pint of raw ether. Um,
A dozen and 2 dozen amyls. I don't know what that
I
is. Amyls.
think it's the nitrate. It's like amyl nitrate.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
not that we needed that for all the trip, but once you get locked into a serious drug collection, the tendency is to push it as far as you can.
God, it's so
That just
messy.
sounds
It's so
insane. I
crazy.
would not make it through that.
Pardon?
I would not make it through that. Like that excursion with that amount of drugs. Like I wouldn't make it through.
Well, I don't want to exaggerate, but I've done something very similar for 7 days in Glastonbury in like 2000 and 2009, I think.
Oh God, how are you living?
I
You have
know. Well, this is what everyone always. I was the girl who everyone wondered how I'm still alive. You know,
God.
it was so crazy. Like, ugh, we had like 75 pills to start. We took 75 pills, 4 of us, and they found more at the concert. Like, they were able to get hold of more. So like every day we did like 10 pills each.
God.
Yeah, from morning to night. It's just crazy. So the things that you put your body through, it's
That's
just
pretty nuts.
crazy. Yeah, yeah.
So they're on the road with this insane amount of shit, and then they pick up this hitchhiker who is Toby Maguire, which is so funny. I was talking to my friend about Toby Maguire the other day, how I'm so unmoved by anything he does. And he's
I know. He doesn't do anything great, does he?
like, and even in this, I'm like, okay. So they like pick him up, and I love that it says like he's going. So they like have a whole bunch. We're not going to go through everything. This movie is fucking crazy. It's really funny. They're like, he's totally on. I think he's on acid at this point. He like sees bats,
Oh, yeah.
which I don't. I still don't know what I'm going to title the episode. I thought it might be the Bat Country one, but that's kind of obvious. I might make it like you took too much, man.
Oh, I love that. You took too much, man.
I think I like that one better because it's not as good. The other one's just like so obvious. And then I love how he's just a wandering journalist that like goes back to Beverly Hills and he's like going to Vegas to cover a dirt bike race. And also I love that they're loading up on all this shit before they leave. They're like going back. And then I love that almost all the time Gonzo, the attorney, is like, as your attorney, I advise you, and he like says it throughout the whole film. Like, I advise you to get a very large car with no top. And then
And
you
then,
drive very fast.
yeah, and then later he's like, I advise you to do a little bit of that. What's in that tiny bottle in my shaving kit? It's just like he's always telling him what to do, and it's mostly drugs related.
Yeah, and he like takes his advice for all these crazy things. It's so funny. The hotel check-in, another one of my favorite fucking times. I've had a similar experience to this in Times Square when I was
Oh
on
God,
it was never do any type of hallucinogen in Times Square. It's a fucking nightmare.
that sounds very
Why would you want to
scary.
do that? Yeah. So it was definitely like a weird relationship like this. I had it with like a McDonald's cashier when I
Oh,
went into the McDonald's and I like totally lost my shit. Like couldn't stand up straight and it was weird. It was super weird.
oh wow.
Yeah, shout out to that McDonald's that night. We were like a mess. Me and all my friends were a fucking mess. But yeah, this is I love that he says I can't explain myself in this climate as he's like fucking sweating because Vegas is fucking awful. It is so goddamn hot
So hot,
all the
yeah.
time. It's like living in an oven.
Is it
It's just
true? Like, I actually picture the way it is, but like in terms of like checking in for a hotel, and there'd just be like the longest line of people because it's busy
no.
all year round. It's not like that.
Oh, you mean because it's busy all year round? Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
a long line, but there are people checking in and going out all the time.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
think now that we have the internet and you probably can like pre-check or whatever the fuck you can do now. I haven't been to a hotel in a long time, but especially like a Vegas one, like I'm sure if you come a lot, there's probably some scan and then you get like your keys. You don't even have to see anyone,
Hmm.
just so it like take up less time. But Yeah, it's definitely always kind of busy. But in these situations, like it was really busy when I've been twice for work when there's conferences and everyone's staying at the same hotel and most people like get there in a bus or like all together, then there's a line because everyone's from like a conference, you know, they're all waiting to get checked
But
in.
why
So
would anyone need to? Why would anyone decide to have a conference there? Why?
in Vegas,
Yeah.
everything has conferences in Vegas. Like I've and tons of fashion shows are in Vegas. Like the big fashion trade shows, are massive
That's
because
so weird.
they have convention halls.
Oh, I
So
see.
like massive ones. So all the labels and like not labels as in like high fashion, but more like I don't know what you would call them, like just run of the mill. Like I worked for like a kind of a somewhat of a streetwear brand,
Hmm.
French one. So like they have little booths set up and you like design them. They have like Project, like Magic. It's where all the big buyers go. But they have big shows like Doc Martens and Levi's and like you know big people, and they'll show their new stuff to like the store owners and buyers and stuff.
Oh, wow.
And like
Okay.
influencers are starting to go now. I'm sure they probably it's more like Coachella. Like now they
Oh,
probably
yeah, that's
share
right.
to like sneakerheads have their own thing. They have a big sneaker conference in Vegas. Like they have tons of shit in Vegas. So most people go for work. On the West Coast, you'll hear people say like, "Oh yeah, I had to go to Vegas for work." Like they always have conferences. They have big rooms and stuff. So yeah. And it's kind of crazy because you like go out with your like I've done, you know, gone out for work and then at night you fucking go get shit faced
Oh,
at some,
yeah.
you know, and then some other guys go to like Crazy Horse, like the strip clubs.
Oh, yeah. I
Like
mean,
I've
I
been to strip
definitely
clubs. It's definitely like a
I
vibe.
went to do it once. I was meant to go there for my 30th,
To
but
Vegas?
yeah, but well, I just couldn't at the last second because I had to move. I
Oh
had to move
man.
apartment and like, but I'm gutted I couldn't go really then because I would have had. I just can't get up to that kind of thing nowadays. You know, I'm too old
Yeah,
for
it's
that.
like I have
I'm too old.
yeah, I was gonna say I was like trying to think the first time I went to Vegas, I was probably like 27. I
Yeah.
guess, like 20. The first time I went, I don't remember. I mean, I vaguely remember, but one of my friends worked at Hard Rock, so we got a free suite. Like
Oh,
worked at the
cool.
so we got a free suite in Vegas for like a weekend, and we got fucking shit faced. I took so many photos. I have them all in a folder, and then my friend also took a bunch of photos. Like there were like 300 photos of us like fucking shit faced, trash this room. Like we paid them a lot because we were like, fuck, we really want to like make it, but we like paid them.
Wow.
Yeah, it was nuts because I never been. I'm not a gambler, but like they just give you alcohol fucking everywhere. If you sit down at a slot machine and you're playing like a quarter, right? You're not even playing anything. You just sit down for like 5 minutes and they'll come over. Like you have to be playing though. If you're not playing, they're not just gonna give you a free drink. And they just give you free drink and you get tanked. And there are no clocks anywhere. So you have no windows. So you have no idea what the fuck time it is, nothing. And then you can take all of your alcohol all over the street. Like you can like take it
Hmm.
from the street and just run around. So you're just like, this is like a
Yeah.
theme park without
Basically,
rap.
it's like a recipe for disaster.
It is. I'm surprised more crazy shit doesn't happen there, quite
Really,
honestly.
do people die often?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know about die, but they have like a big like prostitution problem. Like, you know, because people are drunk. I'm sure drugs are, I'm sure, an issue. Money, like robbery might be a thing.
Hmm.
You know, I don't know. It's not like there are lots of cops down there, but I don't know that it's like that people like die. Like, I don't think there's like murders or anything like that, you know, like happening on the strip. Because
Yeah.
obviously people know, you know, it's not that bad. It's just crazy. I think the
Yeah.
people are they're not driving. So, you know, if the most is just people walking around drunk, like most police can handle that. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, it's just kind of crazy though. It's
It
not
is.
it's nuts. They have clubs and all those shows. You know, they have like Vegas, like Cirque du Soleil. And they have lots of other things to do besides drink
I have
too.
to say that's the one thing that I felt really uncomfortable with. On because it's so typical like 90s and 80s. You have that in so many movies, just like animals, which
Oh
it's
yeah,
so unethical to have animals in like movies, you know? Like
yeah. They had like the chimps and like
yeah,
it's
I just feel bad. I just think it's so wrong, you know? But yeah, I mean it was a huge thing back in the day. So
Thankfully, it's not now. I think all those circuses are kind of out of business.
they are. I know.
LA is pretty awesome 'cause
What
they don't
about
do any of
theme
that.
parks?
I don't think theme parks have animals.
Yeah, they do. They have fucking whales.
Oh, you mean the water ones? I'm thinking of like roller coasters and
Oh
shit.
yeah, no, sorry. I mean like a theme
Oh
park.
yeah, World. Oh, thankfully I've never been to any of those parks, and I have been to aquariums. I have to say, which I don't know if that's bad, but I've been to aquariums, but I've never been to SeaWorld or anything like that.
Yeah, my parents took me a lot, like in the 80s, obviously.
SeaWorld?
Yeah,
Oh
like
wow. Oh yeah, I've never been to SeaWorld
I
in
was like,
Florida.
you're a kid, you don't know any better. But obviously, like if anyone had taught me, like this is wrong. Like, I mean, if
They
you see
don't
animals in captivity, you thought that was cool, you know? Like
like
there was no
Blackfish.
people weren't conscious about that. Like
The documentary. Have you seen Blackfish?
yeah, oh god, I cry. I cry so much. Yeah, it's super hard.
Like, go watch Blackfish. I think it's on Netflix. It has
Yeah,
been for a while, I think.
it's amazing. Well, there are a lot of dogs now that are way tougher than that one. There's
Oh
one.
yeah, that's the first one, right?
I watched them all because of Matthew, obviously.
Oh
And
yeah. God. It's really crazy. Um,
anyway, yeah, sorry.
yeah, so it's that weird check-in. I love when he sees all those weird reptiles and like the floor is bleeding and like
Well,
the restaurants all crazy. Restaurants are really like that though. In Vegas, they're fucking weird. They're like theme. Like it's weird. It's so
I
crazy.
love how when he's looking at the front, well, the lady at the front desk, and her face is just going all like distorted and stuff,
So,
and he's just like terrifying. He's just kind of like kneeling behind the desk. It's really funny. Um, yeah, I mean, honestly, I was on a trip like that. I took mushrooms in Amsterdam in a nightclub,
oh no.
and it was like I'm sure I told you the story, but it was literally that moment. It was everything that you see them seeing, basically. Like it was like I saw Beetlejuice.
Oh my god.
He was like the bartender when it was like a nightclub that had neon lights. Everything was purple and green. It was super dark, and I ate a whole box of mushrooms with my
Oh,
boyfriend at the time, and these like I got to the bathroom to get a drink, and I was just in like shock because he was Beetlejuice, and he was like, "Excuse me, how can I help? Hello," and I was like, can I have vodka and whatever, and Red Bull or whatever." And everything just seemed so surreal. But it was like, you're gonna love this. We ended up making friends with some guys that we met there. Like they were staying in the same hotel as us, and we did make plans to meet them at this club. And I thought that one of them was Brad Pitt. He looked
what?
like Brad Pitt. So I'm talking to him and I'm thinking, oh my God, like you're, no, I didn't think he looked like Brad Pitt. I basically thought I was talking to Brad Pitt. I was like, I can't believe I'm talking to Brad Pitt and my boyfriend is here. This is so awkward. And like, I think he's into me. And I was just,
Wow, you have a definite different experience. I have never seen Brad Pitt. You're obsessed with Brad Pitt.
I know. And then basically my boyfriend was not feeling well and he said, "Okay, I need to go to bed." I was like, "No, don't leave." And he's like, "No, I need to go." So basically he went to bed and I was like, "Oh my God, I don't trust myself. I'm with Brad Pitt. Like this is once in a life opportunity. I feel like I'm just gonna throw myself at him." I was like, "No." I was having this inner monologue. It was crazy. Anyway, long story short, went eventually to my room and I, we were just laying down and then we started to kiss and my boyfriend's face started to get all distorted like that, exactly like that, ladies.
Oh my god.
And I started
Did you
freaking out
scream?
a little bit because so far everything has gone so well. You know, I'm just loving it. I'm like seeing like fucking Brad Pitt and like Beetlejuice and everything. And then I was like telling myself, no, he is my boyfriend. Because I thought at some point that maybe he wasn't, that was kissing someone else because his face started to get distorted into like a really weird shape and like a monster kind of thing. And I told myself, no, this is fine. So then we both got up and we found out we were kissing for like 3 hours and our lips were numb. It was
Oh
just so
my
weird.
god.
And then I looked, he kept going like, And I was like, what's happening? He's like, all this hair everywhere. There is hair everywhere. It's in my mouth. Ugh. And he was like, you know, and then I just saw bones everywhere. You know, like the bones that that you see in cartoons, like little white
Yeah.
pieces of bones. The whole entire room was full of bones, and I had to push them to move to the bathroom and stuff. It's crazy.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was so mental. And I woke up. Then obviously we tripped for like 7 hours, and we both woke up on the floor. We were lying down on the carpet, and I don't know if you ever done mushrooms, but when you eat them,
You get
your mouth tastes like shit the
Mhm.
next day. Like actual shit. Like it's like I basically took a piece of shit and I ate it. It's horrible.
It's gross.
Even if you brush your teeth, that it's just not, it doesn't go away. But anyway, I can confirm that this is exactly accurate. So well done to the cinematographer and the full team because it was spot on.
They definitely made you think that you were on this trip with them. Like,
Totally.
so crazy and weird. Like, I was gonna say, and then we go to like the actual sandstorm of the fucking weird dirt bike race that he's supposed to cover. I love when he like carries his beer out there and he's like trying to cover it, and then he passes all these cars, and it looks like Mad Max. It's like fucking dust everywhere, and like everything's crazy. And then I love when he comes out, and like his beer is all like sand everywhere in it, and it's all like
It's really funny. It's like, how did you not think it was gonna get in the beer, you
yeah.
know?
And they're like back to Vegas. They go back to like Old Town, and they're kicked out of that Debbie Reynolds show, which is so funny. I was like, oh my God, this is hilarious. And then they go to like one of my favorite scenes. It's that circus.
Oh wow, yeah, that's so insane.
This is
Oh,
the indoor circus on Ether. I was like, Johnny Depp is a great at physical comedy. So is him. So are Benicio. They're such a great team.
they
So
are.
physical and so funny. Like just the way they move throughout it, and they're like on that carousel. And
But
it's like,
it's like, how do you act that, right? How do
yeah,
you like? I mean, you told me that Johnny Depp actually did a lot of acid in preparation for the movie.
he did. I think I read that he. Let me look it up. Um,
I mean, I'm not surprised if he was hanging out with Thompson.
how
Like,
could you not? You
how
know what I
could
mean?
you know? Of course, you kind of had to try it to get into the role, I
I
suppose,
feel
or
like
character.
have to, but I feel like it's very much like I don't know. I feel like because there are a lot of, I mean, to give credit to a lot of actors who haven't done it, who've done great portrayals of, people with addiction. Like I don't think Leonardo DiCaprio has done heroin, and he's incredible in Batman.
Oh yeah, that's
It's
true.
not a necessity to do it. I think
Mhm.
you definitely, it's something that is like a personal choice that I'm sure like each actor decides to make if they wanted to go down that road, like, and it's a personal thing. Now,
Well, yeah, but
if you want to do that, then cool, but I'm sure that would help in casting too. Because you imagine the other people who are probably like, well, I'm just gonna like watch you and like see all this crazy shit. But
heroin is way worse than acid.
yeah,
Like I feel like it totally makes sense. Like he didn't try it for the role because that's also you get hooked on that. So why would you? But acid is not addictive. I mean,
no, it's like too crazy to be addictive, right? I don't even think it's
well, I
like
feel
good
like it'll be interesting to
to
honestly. I don't think we can no to ask someone who was around in the 60s, who was young in the 60s and 70s, because obviously nowadays I don't think anyone like it's just different. It's not like the drug, you know what I mean? Like back then it was so common and everyone was doing acid all the time. Like Steve Jobs used to trip quite a lot actually.
yeah, because I don't think it was as bad, right?
Well, because they did it different with a different purpose as well. A lot of them, not obviously in this film, they do it just for like recreational purposes, but
Yeah,
in like Steve Jobs, for example, did a lot of acid, as in like regularly, because it was a way of like expanding your mind and like think. You know what I mean? It was genuinely with that goal of like try to look at the world in a different way, but it was in a way more positive, I suppose,
yeah, no, it's true.
with a purpose. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm reading some things that say that that there was a lot of like he just became so close with Hunter S. Thompson, and this is Johnny Depp, and they're just saying that like he was like so immersed in this role, like he just dived a bit too deep with like how
Mhm.
far he transformed. Like he really was kind of a like they're saying that like Terry Gilliam said that it was kind of like a sponge. Like he just kind of like took this person in, and like not everything should be taken in, but it's like sometimes it can be to like your detriment, if you don't know like when to stop or like all this kind of crazy shit. But yeah, he definitely turned a corner with Fear and Loathing. Johnny Depp did.
Yeah, sorry about that noise. It was my lip balm.
Oh, it's okay. Yeah, it's really funny. There's also like I'm reading an article and there's also like an insanely hot picture of Benicio and Johnny Depp as themselves, not
I've I've
it's like
seen some of those, yeah. But you also see online. I saw a few pictures of Johnny Depp and Thompson, and like Johnny Depp looks pretty shattered. He looks like he's been doing a lot of drugs or
yeah,
partying hard.
yeah,
He
I think it
looks,
was.
yeah, pretty tired. I can only imagine spending 4 months with someone that crazy. You know?
Yeah. Like could you imagine? He could do a whole documentary of like his time.
Yeah, it
I think
totally.
Hunter S. Thompson has a documentary, and I think Johnny Depp's in it. I think there's like a voiceover, or he narrates it. I think I'll have to look into it because I'm surprised I haven't seen it. But I kind of go through like periods where I'm like, oh yeah, Hunter S. Thompson books. Like, let me read another one. I might get one and just like read another one. Let's see. So I wrote, yeah, that amazing circus scene is one of my favorites. It's just so funny.
So
Um,
funny.
and they go back to the hotel, and the hotel's like a fucking wreck. And that's what, like, I think Gonzo is on tons of acid now, and I love when he like hits those oranges and he's like cutting them with the knife, and he's just like screaming, and Duke is just like, "What the fuck?" Like, even he's looking at him and like terrified from him.
But
He's
she
like,
thinks they're limes, right? Doesn't
"Yeah,"
he
he's
say
like,
they're
"What
limes?
limes?" Yeah, he's like, "I brought the knife so that we can cut the limes." He's like, "What limes?" Like brings all these oranges, starts cutting them, and then he's like, "Okay." When they're on the way up, that really funny encounter in the elevator with like the knife. And I think it's
Oh
like
my
they go like
god.
back and forth with like bunch of flashbacks, and like Cameron Diaz is in the elevator. She's like one of the girl reporters, and they
Oh
like
my god. So
weird.
many famous people making
Yeah,
short appearances. Like,
yeah, totally.
I mean, I quite like it, to be honest. I
Yeah,
like
it's
that a
cool.
lot.
Yeah, it's cool that she's in it. And then he leaves for like 2 minutes, but I think it's like 2 hours, and he comes back, and the fucking place is like a wreck. And that's when he's like, Gonzo's like in the tub, and he's like asking him to play White Rabbit.
Oh my
Like,
god.
you
White
know,
rabbit, white rabbit. It's just like,
throw it in the tub, and he's like, yeah. And then it locks him in there. He's like, all right, I'm gonna let you ride out this acid trip, and I'm gonna go. And then that's when he does that weird flashback. He's like, one time I took acid in San Francisco, and it's like this weird flashback. Which amazing outfit. He has that cool checkered jacket on, and he has that
so
striped shirt on,
cool.
and like those jeans and like chucks. And he has those glasses, and he like goes into that bathroom, and it's like fucking Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
It's so
It's
funny.
so weird. He's like doing this whole, and it's so slow too. I can't even imagine that like on something
Yeah,
else.
I love that scene actually, that flashback to that gig. It's meant to be like Jefferson Airplane, right?
Yeah, it's cool.
So cool.
And then I said like he says something kind of similar to these days, like waiting like patiently to defeat this evil that's going around. Like it was kind of like that vibe in the world at the time. I feel like
Yeah,
it's kind of similar now. It was like we didn't want anything crazy to happen. We just wanted like everyone to just live and like, be chill and be in truth and everything, which is kind of like how I wish things were like now.
I
Like
know.
just everyone just calms down and collectively just goes, you know what? We're not gonna fight anymore. We're just gonna like try to meet in the middle and like live our lives. Like that would be great. Um,
Well, maybe everyone needs to do acid to chill the fuck out,
Fucking
basically.
vote. Please, God. If you live in one of those crazy ass states or any state in America, fucking vote. And if you can, fucking do it. It takes 5 seconds.
Exactly.
I wrote, then he tries to skip out on the bill. And he like tries to leave, he's trying to sneak out, and the guy's like, "Hey, excuse me, I want to know when the doctor's there." And he's like, "What? What are you talking about?" He like keeps trying to move, and he's like, "No, but he wants to meet him. He wants to meet him." And they're like, he's like, "Whatever, dude, I gotta go." He just like runs
And
out.
then he's looking at all the shit that he's got in the back seat, and he
Yeah.
just puts his arm as if he wasn't going to see it. It's just so funny. He's just like,
Then we have that funny encounter with the highway patrol, which is really funny.
yeah, and then he asks him for a kiss.
I know how awkward. The next scene is like him with the beer, like pushing his mouth around. I believe it's Gary Busey who's the cop, which is
Yeah,
funny
and
too.
apparently he totally improvised that line. That wasn't meant to be in the.
Really?
Yeah, he improvised that, and they decided to. They kind of were like. They filmed several. They took several shots of that scene, and then eventually they decided to keep it because they thought it was really funny.
Oh my
But it
god.
wasn't. It wasn't planned. Yeah.
Then he goes back. He's going back to Vegas. He was like going to LA. Now he's going back to Vegas, and he gets that white caddy, which is so dope. That like big ass car.
Oh my god, that car!
It's so cool.
Wait, is that a Cadillac?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then he's going to the Flamingo to cover like that fucking like cop DA weird conference or convention or something.
Oh yeah.
His lawyer tells him, and he's like, "You have to go. Like, I've got a suite. It's all taken care of." So he goes to check in, and I love how they're all cops, and it's for like bad, dangerous drugs or whatever, like the fucking seminar is. And everyone turns and looks at him, and he has that dope outfit with the green visor and like that patchwork lounge jacket.
I love what he's wearing. It's just
Yeah,
so
it's so
cool.
cool. And then Christopher Maloney, he's the guy at the hotel.
Yeah, he's so funny in it. I love what he's wearing as well.
Oh yeah, it's cool. I fucking love Christopher Maloney, Elliot Stabler for fucking life. I cannot wait until that show comes back and he's gonna be on it.
That's cool.
I don't know if you watch. Do you watch SVU? You don't watch Law and Order.
Nope.
He's also in What Hot American Summer, another really good movie. And Harold and Kumar. He's in a bunch of shit. I like him. He's funny. He's actually from around here, which is funny.
Is he? Oh wow.
Virginia. And then I wrote the Flamingo Suite. Okay, before it gets trashed, it's really fucking
cool. That's my favorite room, my favorite set. It's just so fucking cool. Everything's pink, obviously. And the TVs like all stacked, like 3 of them.
Cool. And then Gonzo is there, which he didn't know, with Lucy, aka Christina Ricci.
Oh my god,
love her. She's so cool. We have to do a movie called The Opposite of Sex. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't.
Oh my god, it's on Amazon. It's so good. It's like from the late, I think it's from like the late 90s, I want to say. I think it meets our criteria, but it's it's like the weirdest movie that I feel like you could never be made now. Like I'll read the synopsis. It's after her stepfather dies, 16-year-old Dee Dee, who's Christina Ricci, moves in with her gay half-brother Bill. Already pregnant, Dee Dee seduces Bill's partner and convinces him the child is his. The couple steals 10 grand from Bill and runs off. When an ex-student of Bill's, who's also Mac's ex-lover, accuses Bill of molestation, he must track down Dee Dee and Matt to help with help with his sister, who's Lisa Kudrow, to salvage his reputation. It is so ridiculous and so funny.
Oh wow, she's another one. She was like super cool girl from the 90s. It's like a child actor, but she's not messed up like many others, you know?
Cool. I love her. I love Sleepy Hollow too, that she did with Johnny Depp, like right after this.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. We could do that. That's 99. I think I'm gonna do that one. So I really like that movie. And then she does those Barbara Streisand portraits, which is so weird that she's like gonna try to sell. I wrote the suite with the TV scenes. And then Lucy calls and they like kick her out. She's at the Americana, which is so weird. And that's when Gonzo gives what do you call it? Duke that adrenochrome, which is another one of my favorite fucking sequences where he has that intense trip where he's like, just take one drop. And then he like keeps like and he keeps like taking it and he keeps like,
I love the packaging. It's like this tiny bottle. Like
cool.
It's very like similar to like Alice in Wonderland with that little bottle.
Yeah, it's true.
But isn't that drug made up? Doesn't
it
exist.
Adrenochrome? Let's look it up.
I'm pretty sure it's made up. I don't think it's a drug. Maybe it might be something, but not a drug, I don't think.
It's a chemical compound. I don't think it's like real though. Animals. It's fictional. Fictional.
Right? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's
Yeah, because I was like, wait, I want to do that. What is it? And then
what? You
I
want to
remember
he lost his mind.
well, in 2000 when I watched it,
Oh,
it's like,
oh,
what is this that I don't know about? You
yeah.
know?
About everything. Yeah. I was like, oh God. I was like, Gonzo turns into the devil in this crazy way. Like the bed's moving and it's just like fucking off the rails. Like it's just
So scary.
and then when he wakes up is when like the whole place is like flooded. Like there like there's like all that water and shit around.
That I find really hard to watch.
It's
That whole,
gross.
because they completely destroyed the hotel room, and I thought it was so beautiful, and also it's just so much mess everywhere that it really stresses me out. Like the bathroom, there's that hole in the bed that
Yeah, it's all burned.
it's just so fucked up.
It's so crazy. And I feel like obviously they don't remember anything. I wrote OMG the room and he's a reptile. So funny. Then they of course are gonna escape Vegas again, and then they go to like the North Star Diner and they have that fucking awful exchange with that waitress, which apparently
Oh yeah.
not meant to be in it. Or like
Oh, she's not meant to be in it?
I think the scene was like they didn't want to have that scene in it for some reason, but then they did. Like last minute they were like, let's put it in or something like that, which is so crazy.
Yeah, that was actually quite uncomfortable to watch.
Yeah, it was kind of like I was like, why does this have to be in
I
it?
was like, please do not like abuse this waitress. I was like, I thought that's where it was heading.
But yeah,
Basically.
that's how I think it kind of like makes it. I was like, no, 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 this is like weird. This is fucking crazy. But but yeah, so that was like right at the end. They're going to, I think he's going to drop off Gonzo at the airport, and he's like, I have to go, I have to go. And they see Lucy in the road, and then he's like putting up the newspaper, like, no, no, like fucking get her away from me. And then they just like zip, and he just goes like back onto his plane. I thought he was gonna say like, I never saw him again, like that was it. I got him on that plane, and then like that's where he went. But he's off, and then you see him back in the flamingo riding, and he's like talking about like what does man like really want, like do we really understand like what's going on here. And it's a really great book. I can't even like stress how good it is to read his words. It's really hard to kind of talk about it.
Yeah, because they actually took all the dialogue was direct
Hmm.
from the book,
Yeah.
directly from the book, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I love that he's like, we're driving back to LA on Highway 15, just another freak in the freak kingdom. And I was like, yeah, that's totally like the vibe and totally what it feels like. Yeah. So
There,
those are my like plot points
well,
there.
there's so many good lines, like
There's
long
so
ones, but there are so many great sequences of dialogue that is just so brilliant.
It's a really quotable movie. It's quite hard to find scenes that are really good and like specific quotes that are really good because I feel like it's just crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
Oh, I
is.
want to hear about your fashion notes here.
Fashion. Oh, fashion.
And then
I love
the
it.
tip, they were mostly his actual clothes.
Yeah, I
Cool.
saw that. Yeah, so cool that he actually kept it. It's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
I want to do there's been a shoot like this already, so it's like kind of silly for me to say.
I'm
Like,
sure, yeah.
yeah,
Well,
like,
pretty
oh,
much
this looks
everything he's
cute. This
wearing.
looks like Fear and Loathing. Yeah, like
Well, everything he's wearing is pretty on trend right now. Anyway.
it never goes out of style in LA. Guys all wear
Oh, really?
lounge shirts. Yeah, those like 70s type lounge shirts guys always wear, especially surfers. So like they never go out of style. That whole vibe never goes out of style. It's very much like old West Coast, like or even like old man East Coast is like young West Coast surfer. It's really
Yeah,
strange.
but he's like really quirky. I feel like that
Yeah,
exact
not
look
everywhere, but
is
that kind
pretty
of 70s
is
shirt.
pretty on point right now. Like bucket hats,
Hmm.
like the long shorts with like crazy Hawaiian shirts or like printed shirts, and like I feel like that's pretty like spring summer 2020 basically. But I like a lot of his outfits. Obviously, like he has those signature like Ray-Ban aviator glasses. They're so cool. I have original Ray-Ban like sunglasses from the 70s, exactly like those.
Oh,
And
cool.
my dad is a collector as well. That's
Cool.
where I got it from, and he gave me that pair. It's his pair from the 70s, basically.
Oh, no way. Oh,
Yeah, because they have this weird thing, like what like how sunglasses just rest on your ears, right? This one has a clip. It kind of goes round. It's crazy.
oh, okay.
It has that feature, and also it has that little circle in the middle,
Oh, that's
which
cool. Wait, do you have him here?
yeah, I have them. I'll show you. I'll
Oh,
show you them
nice.
next time. I just don't think they suit me, but I love them.
Oh, cool. You should shoot him. Or have you
Oh
already?
yeah, yeah. No, I haven't. No, I
Oh,
haven't actually.
wow. Oh, they're
Yeah,
cool.
I like his outfits a lot. I feel like for me, I think that Dr. Gonzo wears the sickest outfits for me. Like
Yeah, they're pretty
he
cool.
has this super cool pink knitted top with pinstripe trousers, and yeah, he's just so cute because he's got this big belly, but like always bursting out his clothes, and then he has this fucking amazing pink kimono
Yeah,
thing.
that robe thing.
Like that's amazing. How like I mean, he has, and also he has this super cool necklace
He looks like
with
a
it.
cult leader, like that dude
He
from
does. He
Nexium.
totally does look like a cult leader, but like a hot one.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, he wears so many cool outfits. Even like the Hawaiian shirts that they both wear right at the beginning of the movie when they're
Mhm.
driving. He has like a red one and it's open, obviously, always like exposing his stomach. And Johnny Depp wears a yellow one, I think it is. But
Yeah, it's like yellow and black.
yeah, yeah, the fashion is really cool. I'm actually quite surprised about, like how Days and ID tend to have these like features on like kind of fashion and style
Mhm.
articles on iconic movies. There isn't anything about this one out.
Really?
Yeah, I was super
Oh,
shocked.
wow. That's crazy.
I think so. Yeah, I don't know why. It's kind of weird they missed on that one, but yeah.
That's so weird. Yeah, no, there's this really cool. I did an article on like the hysteric glamour. Like they're the ones that did a Fear and Loathing one, but they're like a Japanese brand, so they're like fucking dope.
Oh,
Like
cool.
they did a really cool one with this model that I like, Cole Moore, and the singer Sky Ferreira. So
Oh yeah,
I wrote
yeah.
about it in like 2013.
Oh,
It was when I
cool.
was in LA, and like it's still a big deal because like people shoot in the desert all the time in LA, like
Mm.
fashion photographers and stuff, and like those motels and stuff. Like it's really like super cool. So a lot of people do those like Fear and Loathing inspired kind of shoots because there's so many places you can do it. So it's really neat. That's what I just have like awesome outfits. I wrote a lot of the costumes are his own work, which is so cool. I like the suit that he has on, Duke at the conference. It's like a blue tie and like a pink
Oh yeah, that's cool. That
and the
one's
yellow
cool.
glasses. I think that's really cool. And then I love the flamingo where he has like the green visor. Like that's like one of the iconic ones.
I have to say that's pretty cool too. Yeah, I
So,
actually like those a lot.
yeah, they're
I
really cool. I used to have one when I was a kid.
yeah, I had some when I was a kid, but I don't have any. I kind of want one.
Yeah, I know. They're cool. You always see like accountants with them on in like TV shows or like movies.
Oh,
So,
because the cool thing about it is I can't still do my bun and just wear it because I don't do hats like caps.
oh yeah, yeah. You don't do. Yeah, yeah. I don't either. I used
Because
to.
of
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know. Could you imagine if I had like a baseball hat on? That makes sense for me.
Oh no! Oh god,
I might put one on just because.
that is so American.
Is it?
Baseball
Yeah,
cap.
totally.
Yeah,
Yeah, baseball hat.
I think it's really funny actually.
Let's talk about this dope music. I'm
Please,
gonna be listening to this soundtrack for the next like week or so because it's really cool.
this is literally what I've been listening to the whole past week.
Oh, cool.
I actually listened to it because on Spotify you have the soundtrack, and in between each song there is dialogue from the actual film.
Oh, on the Spotify one?
Yeah, yeah, on
Oh,
Spotify. It's super
cool.
cool.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I'll link it in the show notes then.
Oh please, yeah, that's really cool. I literally this is the music that I listen to anyway. This is all music I love, like Jefferson Airplane, like I don't know, like Big Brother and the Holding Company, or like
Yeah.
what's her
Janet.
name? Janis Joplin. Like even songs that I don't normally like, musicians that I don't normally listen to, but I think they're so like great. as part of the soundtrack, like Tom Jones, you know,
Oh
like
yeah, that's
it's
cool.
like I fucking love those songs that are
Yeah,
in the
they're good.
film because they're just really fun, you know.
Harry Cuomo,
Yeah, Young
Bob
Bloods,
Dylan, yeah,
Bob Dylan.
Sinatra. There's a Sinatra
Oh,
song that's
there's
playing.
so much. But the one song that actually drives me crazy because I find it just too much
What?
is Viva Las Vegas by Dead Kennedys.
Oh,
I
I
can't
fucking
listen
love
to it.
Kennedy's
I
one.
hate it. I actually feel quite anxious listening to
Really?
that. Yeah, I don't like it.
Oh, I love it. I love Dead Kennedys too.
No.
They're pretty cool. As there, everyone was talking about John Lydon yesterday because he like was photographed wearing this like MAGA shirt the other day.
Oh,
Actually, it was in 2018, but people were talking about it, and they were talking about like he's so not punk. Like he ended up marrying this like super rich woman, and everyone's like everyone in England knows that he hasn't been like how he was in the 70s for like ever.
well,
Like
that's sad.
wow. And I was like, that's fucked. And then people were talking about this is all on Twitter, and people were talking about Dead Kennedy's lead singer, Jello Biafra, who like the president actually like says he doesn't like because he's very like punk and outspoken, like the Dead Kennedys. So like they were saying like they're two like cut like such different, like both in punk bands, but like very different, you know, like outside their music.
Wow, yeah. I
So
mean,
crazy.
it's kind of sad, but yeah, like so much great music. What's your favorite? Like, what are your favorites?
I think my favorite is definitely the Bob Dylan
Yeah,
sequence.
I knew it.
Um,
I knew it.
Tom Jones. I do like It's Not Unusual. I do like that song.
So good.
And I like that She's a Lady.
Oh,
Oh,
wow, wow, she's a lady.
I like that. That's cool. And I love Janice.
I know.
Yeah.
Me too. I feel like the White Rabbit
Oh
is
yeah, that's classic.
such an iconic song. I wonder who, like, what film featured this song first because it's been on so many movies.
Yeah, let's see. Done a lot of researching on the dime here.
That's cool. And there's a song that's really funny. I just can't remember which one it is. I don't know if it's actually part of the official soundtrack, but is that song that said "Yummy, yummy, yummy, in my tummy."
Yeah, I know. I don't know who sings that, but I know that song.
It's so catchy. It's like poppy music from the 60s, you know?
Let's see. I have to do some deep digging. I can see White Rabbit, the song. Okay, came out in 1970. Oh no, 1967 is the album that it was on. Surrealistic Pillow. Now, let me see if they have when it first appeared in a film, sampled
It's
in
just
media.
been on so many films.
Okay, it says this is not in order though.
Okay.
So I don't know. It says a line in the song Go Ask Alice was used as the title of a 1971 book about drug addiction by Beatrice Sparks and was adapted 2 years later into an ABC movie of the week. So that was like 73. But I don't know if the song was in that. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, it doesn't have like the very first time. I don't know when the very first time is. But it's always meant to like signify drugs, like and kind of like a weird like drug, like acid or something. It's always meant to signify kind of like trippy, like all trippy and weird and drugged out, at least in movies and stuff.
Well, I'm pretty sure it's in that movie called The Game.
Oh, that's
That's
the one with Michael Douglas, right?
Yeah, that's with Michael Douglas. And I'm pretty sure it's in it. I mean, it's been in like literally so many,
Yeah,
but
it's been
it's fine.
interesting.
But yeah, the soundtrack is amazing, and
Cool. Yeah, I'm excited to listen to it. I'm gonna add it in the show notes so you guys can listen to it. It's really cool. What are your favorite scenes and some of your favorite lines?
okay, favorite scenes. I have the first one would be when he sees the bats.
Oh yeah.
I just love that. I love how he's like, these goddamn animals, and he's just like trying to. I don't know. He gets out of his car actually, and he gets something from the boot
Mm-hmm.
or trunk, whatever. That's yeah. Let's do one each. What's your favorite?
My first one, oh yeah, I already said this, but the drug collection. So, but my next one is the used car shop when he like backs out when he gets to
Oh
the
yeah.
and he's like, the guy's like, yeah, this will be fine. He's like, you know how to drive this car? He's like, oh yeah, and he like backs out over the concrete and like, "Arr!" and like skirts. And the guy's like, wow, you just backed over that concrete without even stopping, and then he just like signs it, and then I love how like Gonzo just loading all the shit in the car, like the beer, the all the shit, like okay, yeah, bye, and they just zip off. Like it's so funny.
Yeah, that's really funny. I mean, literally every scene is, but I really love that scene when they're at the casino and they're in the carousel, and
Yeah,
and like
much.
Gonzo doesn't want to get off, he doesn't want to get out, and like Johnny Depp is like, "Come on!" and he just won't. He's like terrified, and he has to push him out.
I know, and he
That's
rolls
really
out.
funny.
I love how he like rolls him out. He like
Oh yeah.
so
That whole thing is just like hilarious. Do
funny.
you have another one?
Let's see. I have the same. The hotel check-in is one of like the classic ones, and obviously they're like, "Did you eat all this acid?" That's
Yeah. No, that's so good.
so funny.
Well, yeah, there are so many, but I'm just gonna make the final one now. It's when he's in the tub in the bathtub, and he's like, "Play White Rabbit," and he's just like mental. He is like it's my favorite, but it's also kind of like a very stressful scene to watch because he's just like freaking out and
Yeah,
he
he's
looks
having a bad.
so believable. Like I'm like, oh, I feel like pain
The water's all dirty.
watching this. Yeah, he's got all this shit in there, and then
Yeah,
I think he farts.
yeah.
He,
It's
it's
gross.
just all gross. It's just like, oh man, this is so disgusting and uncomfortable to watch and terrifying.
Yeah, totally. That's your last one?
Yeah.
My last one is probably when Duke takes the adrenochrome. That's just fucking nuts.
Oh
The
yeah.
whole scene was just crazy when he starts turning to that devil, and I was like smoking this morning watching it, and I was like, "This is crazy! Like, this is fucking weird. This is so fucking weird." But I love the way it was shot. I mean, on top of everything else, just like the cinematography and how fucking weird and
So on point.
it was
Yeah.
so on point. The way the camera angles were. I love how they had the camera like down on the floor in the hotel, like sideways, so it kind of looked
Yeah.
in this weird hallway. It was very
And you know what the crazy thing is that they have a lot of wide lens shots.
Mhm.
And I read that they actually decided to do that because it was cheaper.
Oh, wow. It
But
was
I'm
a
like,
big
it kind of
budget,
worked
though.
out. It
Like
fucking worked out.
13.
13, but he only made 10, right?
Yeah, but that's not bad. I mean, it's a
It's not bad,
counterculture film. It's not something
but
that's
who knows?
really
I mean,
massive.
it became a cult classic, and
Yeah,
that's
totally.
cooler than being like a huge blockbuster. And.
It's definitely one of those films that, like, it's almost gonna be, like, in the vein of the Iraqis and the Clarks that we do and the Coppola.
Yeah,
Like, if
totally.
you know this film, you're gonna listen to it. If you don't, you're not gonna be listening to the show.
No, you won't bother.
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
you think it's silly and stupid.
Let's do favorite lines.
Yeah, I don't have any specific lines. Like, I mean, I have lines that I really like a lot, but like I like when he says, "You took too much, man."
I know, I love that
Too
too.
much.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that the lines are kind of long. It's not like just one
Mhm.
line. But I love so many of
What
them
are yours?
because they're long. I love when I mean, pretty much all the lines are by Johnny Depp.
Mhm.
Basically, he says, "There he goes, one of God's own prototypes,
Mhm.
some kind of high-powered mutant, never even considered for mass production, too weird to live, too rare to die."
That's what I have. I just have too weird to live, too rare to.
It's so good. Like I love it. It's just like the perfect description. It's so good.
It's so cool. Yeah, there's so many. I mean,
There's so many.
many. Yeah, I don't have any specifics written down. Like, there's like, stop. This is backcountry, or like, we can't stop here. This
Oh
is
yeah, this is backcountry. I know.
like that's pretty
Yeah,
good.
it's just there's so many like cool things, but I really like it. I mean, I shouldn't like it, but it's kind of funny if you think about it. It's
Yeah.
kind of dark. He says, "Bazooka's circus is what the whole hep world would be doing on Saturday nights if the Nazis had won the war. This was the Sixth Reich."
Oh God.
It's like,
It's totally
yeah,
fucked and like weird.
this is so fucked.
Weird shit.
And then obviously when he talks about the drugs they have, it's like this
Yeah.
amazing briefcase. That's actually I will say that's in my favorite scenes too, when he's trying to do coke in the car and the whole fucking coke blows.
Oh yeah,
And then he just licks the briefcase. It's just funny.
I know, it is really funny.
That was improvised as well. He just decided to do that on his own.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, he definitely got like, yeah, he definitely got crazy.
So crazy. I mean, both of them, they just really play that like insanely well. I have one more line. Can I just say
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Okay, because I really like this one.
No, you can't.
He says the possibility of physical and mental collapse is now very real. Not sympathy for the devil. Keep that in mind. Buy the ticket, take the ride. I like that.
Mhm. You gotta read the book. I'm gonna give you the I'm gonna like bring it out and like put it at the front door. So I won't.
Oh, okay, cool.
'Cause, yeah, I think you're gonna end up reading like other things by him because it's really cool. I don't have any more. I do have a good quote to end this episode from one of Hunter S. Thompson's previous works
Oh,
called
cool.
The Proud Highway Saga of a Desperate Southern Gentleman. So yeah, so I guess we're gonna wrap this up, and it was super fun. And yeah, this quote will be the end of the episode.
Yay.
It was so fun. So this one is, he says, let us toast to animal pleasures, to escapism, to rain on the roof and instant coffee, to unemployment insurance and library cards, to absinthe and good-hearted landlords, to music and warm bodies and contraceptives, to all the good life, whatever it is and wherever it happens to be.
That's amazing.
Yeah, isn't that great? It's like
That is great.
Right.
That's so cool.
So yeah, read some Hunter S. Thompson. He's got really great work, so many books, and yeah, maybe we'll watch the Rum Diary. I might see how it is because I really like.
He's a prime example of how like doing drugs definitely like inspires you and like makes you more creative and
Yeah, I mean, it definitely inspires his work, and his work is next level.
yeah, he produced so much, you know.
Yeah, totally. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. We had fun talking about it.
Yeah, it was amazing.
You'll be surprised, I guess, with the next one we do because we don't know yet.
I don't know yet, but definitely listen to Fight Club tomorrow.
Yeah, listen to Fight Club. I'm sure. Hopefully, people will be down.
Oh well, actually, this is coming out after Fight Club, so
Yeah. So yeah, but still go listen to it because it's
yeah.
cool. So we'll see you on the next one.
Bye.